as you can hear, it's just so much nicer, so much more deep. It sounds like a proper turbo now, which is what we want. You notice turbos have that sort of, I don't know, sort of like just a deeper note than over obviously the stock NA, but it's just a nice deeper note. I really like it. Hello guys and welcome back. I have the car back after a massive 4 days with Luke Dvorak at LCD Tuned. The car spent 4 days, as I said there, just getting all its internal engine components done to it in preparation for our power mods coming soon in the future. Now Luke's done an amazing job in this car. I brought it into him on Tuesday and he was done with it on Friday, and he's done the head studs, valve springs, timing chain, oil pump gears and backing plate all in that time. And to anyone who's actually knows anything about it or has done it before, you'll know that that's a massive job, taking the whole front of the car off, taking the whole front cradle out of the car, dropping that, and yeah, putting everything in. So yeah, quite a massive job, and I can't thank Luke enough for all the amazing effort that he's done with the car, and especially his attention to detail as well. I had a bit of an oil leak when I was driving the car, which caused the whole underside of the car to be just filthy with oil. He put my timing chain cover and my sump in the parts washer and cleaned all that up, and now it just looks brand new. So it's them little things that people do just to make your car a little bit nicer, and it's them sort of things that really separate really good mechanics and tuners to the rest. And also he's a fully qualified mechanic as well, fully insured, all that sort of thing. So if something goes wrong, well, obviously it's not going to be coming out of your pocket, and it'll get sorted the correct way instead of the dodgy way. So, which is also very important. So if you're in the Townsville area, I highly suggest hitting up Luke from LCD Tune. He is literally the guru and is an absolute wizard with these things. What he's doing with these cars at the moment is just incredible. Pretty much every car that he touches is over 500 kilowatts, or is making really impressive power. So yeah, hat off to Luke for all his awesome work. So basically, as you can see, car looks as it should, nothing out of place. Like I said, his attention to detail is second to none, and yeah, he really knows what he's doing. Yeah, we had the valve springs, head studs, oil pump gears and the timing chain all put in, as well as the backing plate, ready for our power mods coming soon. So basically this is just the stage 1 tune, you could say, just with all the supporting mods to be able to handle the big power coming into the future, which is very important. Definitely better to start this way than putting on your power mods and then putting in all your supporting mods to strengthen the engine. Yeah, this is definitely the way to do it, because you're not going to have any dramas, and basically all the hard work's done now. Unplugging things, unbolting things, and plugging stuff back in, and putting bolts and stuff back in. So yeah, a lot easier. Ryan also took out my middle muffler. Now Ryan is a amazing fabricator. He's done a lot of work on our cars in regards to like intercooler piping, exhaust work, external gate setups, whatever piece of metal could be tigged or megged or whatever, he's the dude to talk to about that. So that's another bonus of working with Luke. You can also get fabricating work done at the same time with Ryan. So yeah, he's basically just a one-stop shop for making power basically. So yeah, certainly can't complain with that. So yeah, Ryan took out that middle muffler for me, and the car just sounds heaps better. Sounds like it should. Nice deep note. Haven't obviously been able to get up it yet. Just let the engine settle, let all the new parts sort of bed in and break in and whatnot, and then in a couple hundred more Ks we'll be able to get into it, actually see what it properly sounds like, which would be good. But yeah, nice deep note. Yeah, definitely a lot more menacing when you're sitting on the road. So a lot nicer in my opinion. While Luke was working on my car, he found that a couple of the valve springs had lost their strength and they were starting to get a bit spongy, which obviously in a turbo car is bad, because that is what causes valve float, and that's not good at all. So yeah, you can run into a lot of dramas with that. And yeah, since getting back, the car feels a lot more responsive, a lot more happy on the road. Drives so much nicer, just feels a lot smoother. It's a bit of a hard thing to describe, but yeah, the car just feels so much nicer to drive, which is awesome. Also sorted out a couple of little things for me. So I do need to pop this back out of the the front bar after driving home from Victoria. Unfortunately hit bird, which it unfortunately happens. Luckily there was no real damage. I just need to probably take the front bar off and pop this back in, so it shouldn't be too bad. Also, cause of that, popped out a fog light bolt. Luke was good enough to head down to Super Cheap and get a new one for me and sort that out as well. And, you know, like I was saying before, it's these little things that, you know, really separate a good, you know, tradesman and what they're doing compared to somebody who, you know, is just all in it for the money. You know, that's the difference. Doing these little things, taking his time and actually looking at things to be like, hey, look, this needs to be fixed, or hey, this is my opinion on this, what do you think? Or, you know, hey, I noticed that this is worn out, you know, what do you want me to do about it? That sort of thing. Instead of a mechanic that would just get in there, be like, right, this is the part I've got to put on, and fits it, doesn't look at anything else, and then, you know, you're like, oh cool, the part's been replaced, but then you're driving along down the road and you're like, oh, what's this vibration, or what's that sound, or, you know, that sort of thing, where it could have been prevented if the mechanic was just going that little bit further and just having a bit of a look around. He also found that my lower control arm bushing on the passenger side, where the spring, the shock, gets bolted into that lower control arm, that bushing is worn. Which, yeah, I sort of would expect something to have failed after that massive trip from Townsville to Victoria over the Easter break. The roads are just absolutely atrocious, especially where they've been flooded. Just horrible. So I'll have to replace that as well, as well when I do the upper control arm bushings on that side. So I'm wondering if it's in sort of a bit of a conjunction with that failing as well. Also going to get some new, I'm going to get some coilovers for the front, just because they're worn out as well. Yeah, it's definitely time to replace them. But yeah, I'm very happy with Luke's work and everything he's done. He kept me updated the whole time, was talking to me about what he was doing and how things were, which is really awesome, and really good peace of mind just to know that everything's tracking well. He was also sending me a heap of photos of all the work he was doing as well, so I actually know what parts have been put into my car. I mean, you hear a lot of stories, unfortunately, of guys who will bring their cars in with a part and be like, hey, I just want to upgrade this, and they're like, yeah, cool, no worries, and anyway, their car spends a week in the shop, and next minute the part that they brought in is on somebody else's car, and they've got a cheaper second-hand part or something like that in their car, and they don't know the difference, because obviously the workshop isn't showing, you know, the work they're doing. There's no proof, so pretty risky sort of stuff. But with Luke, you know, he's more than happy to be like, yep, this is what I've put in your car, I can prove it, look at this, this is your, say for example, oil pump assembly. Here you can see your backing plate and your oil pump in there, it's in the car, so which gives you really good peace of mind, because, you know, if you're driving along and all of a sudden, oh, I've got no oil pressure, what's going on? I thought, you know, I had my oil pump gears done, then all of a sudden you take it to a shop, they pull it off, and they're like, oh, these are a second-hand set of oil pump gears, they've shattered. Didn't you say you had a billet set in here? And you're like, well, yeah, I thought so, but somebody's done the dodgy on you and they've scabbed your part and put something cheap on just to get that money. So yeah, that's the benefit of that, and I really can't thank Luke enough for all his hard work that he put into this car. But yeah, it's just the beginning. We've still got a little bit to go, but basically all the hard work's done now, so we're ready for the power mods to go in, and yeah, we'll be able to send it on its way. Some more awesome news is I have a second ZF transmission. Now apparently this is meant to be a stage 2 built box from Nispro. Done an input shaft, as we can see here, and has been fully disassembled. So who knows whether or not it's an actual stage 2 built box, but for the price, look, you can't go wrong. Again, I'm just going to palm it off to Luke. He's going to build it for me, make sure everything is as it should be, and that there's no dramas with the box at all. And if it's all sweet to go, this will go in the car. We'll have a nice strong box that can handle a bit more power than the stock one, so we don't have to worry so much about failing, because nothing worse than, well, that really. So yeah, anyway, that'll be sweet to go, and yeah, certainly a good buy, that's for sure. Also, we've got tail shaft on the way. Marcus is gonna give me his second-hand one, which means that I don't have to take my car off the road whilst that's getting built, and then I'll just give him my old one. No loss, no gain, and yeah, it just really helps me out a lot with that, so yeah, that's awesome. Can't thank Marcus enough for doing that. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of degreasing of the trans, just clean it up a little bit before I put it on its side. You pull that the cover off gasket, the sump, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, on the inside it looks pretty clean. I mean, I've never really seen inside a ZF transmission before, so can't really like say what looks good and what doesn't. But I mean, it looks clean in there. I mean, it doesn't look old. All the clutch packs in there look pretty good. There's a lot of scoring in here. So pretty deep. So yeah, I'm not sure. Might have to replace. So this is the input shaft. You can see that it's snapped pretty spectacularly. I think this is a cryo shaft. Yeah. That'll obviously have to be replaced. Can't weld that one back together. But yeah, apart from that, it looks pretty good. We'll be able to have a bit more of an indication when we take the pan off and actually flip it over and have a good look. So we'll just give it a bit of a clean up. Alright, so that's a little bit better, a little bit nicer. Oil and gunk's off, so just a little bit cleaner. And we'll just roll it on its side. Alright. Oh yeah. Gasket's good. That's why. The majority of the bolts aren't actually in it. It's just got a couple of torque bolts in it. So head oil's coming out of here. It's been dinged up a little bit. At least it's metal instead of plastic, so at least I know it's been serviced at least if it isn't actually a built box. It must be genuine ZF. Alright, the washing machine's finally stopped, thank goodness. As I was saying, we just got a torque screws in there, and it's literally off. All the rest of them are gone. I think they're in the bag somewhere, hopefully. One of the best bits about Yamaha was I got my old tools back, so I now have a heap of tools, which is great. I'll just chuck an extension on that. So I think if all these bolts are sort of not in, sort of think that the valve body might not be there anymore, and if that's the case, not a big deal, but it just would be nice. Oh yeah, it's still there. Yikes. Okay, so we've got these magnets on the bottom of it. Quite a lot of metal shavings. But apart from that, I suppose it does look pretty clean. So that's something. But yeah, these are pretty gross. The oil isn't milky, but it's got a grey colour to it. Yeah, a bit grey. Who knows? I don't know anything about this box. The bloke that was selling it didn't have any information up when he was selling it. Didn't really bother asking because it was just so cheap, and I'm like, whatever. You know, even if it's stuffed, it'll cost me less to get it fixed than what it will to buy like a fully working ZF that's, you know, $3,000–4,000. So I mean, this was $700 shipped to my door. You know, like pretty cheap for a supposed built box. So yeah, even if it is stuffed, well, you know, to replace whatever it needs fixing, it's not that bad. Can't complain too much really. Like I said, Luke will look after the box for me. He'll have a look at it and see yeah, what needs to be fixed and replaced and whatnot. So it's like really greasy. It's not like oil, it's more like grease. Then again, I don't know any of the history about the box, so I can't say much about it. Just gonna give this a hose off. Alright, so that's the sump off now. A couple of magnets in there. They're in a weird position to where they should be. Not sure why or how they got there. It's obviously been serviced at least, but who knows, yeah, whether or not it's actually a built box or not. The only real way that you'd be able to tell is if you have a look at the frictions and the clutch packs and that sort of thing, and if they look heavy duty, then it's obviously been built. But I've never seen standard clutch packs out of a ZF before, and I've never seen inside of a ZF like this before, so it's a little bit hard to tell whether or not what I'm looking at is built or not. So I'll have to do a bit of Googling for reference, and yeah, basically the only way to really know for sure. But I just gave that sump a bit of a clean, so a little bit nicer. Bit of metal in there too, which isn't ideal, so I don't know what was going on there, but apart from that, it does look pretty clean. I'll show you the frictions, see if somebody out there might be able to tell. So as you can see, I mean, it all looks pretty good. Like, it doesn't look like it's had like a hard time or anything, although it obviously has, but you know, they don't look too worn out. It all looks pretty good to me, but when Luke has it, he'll be able to suss it out properly. But yeah, I'll have to do some Googling and compare what standard ones look like and all that sort of business. But anyway, looks to be all there. Valve body's there, which is good. So, which sort of means maybe he was pushing a lot of power. Maybe this is a built box. Maybe he went turbo 400, something like that. And just left it. So, we'll see. Anyway, that's going to be about it for today's video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed a bit of a rundown, and certainly if you're looking to get your XR6 Turbo, XR8, any FPV, any Falcon tuned, or any work done, servicing, whatever it is, literally anything that you need done to your car, bushes, suspension, all that sort of thing, Luke can do it, and I highly recommend him. I wouldn't trust my car with anyone else. I try and do most of the things myself because I obviously trust myself. I know what I'm doing, and I know what's going on in my car. Obviously, when it comes to this sort of thing, you know, there's no one else that I would trust with it except for Luke. Highly recommend him. If you're in the Townsville area, yeah, definitely go and say g'day, hit him up, talk to him about what you want, what he can do. He does things smart. He's not going to push your car till it breaks just to get whatever power figures you want. He's going to push it to whatever's safe and make it feel fast, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, can't recommend him enough. I'm gonna start working on a new video tomorrow, so hopefully that'll be out in the next couple of days as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Getting my Skyline up here in the next couple of weeks. So once that's up here, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit and sell that, which then means there's more money for the Falcon. And then, yeah, basically stay tuned for part 2 of the power mods. So yeah, no, that'll be really awesome. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one.